Tesla's chief designer Franz von Holzhausen is currently visiting Shanghai, China right now. Lots of speculation why he's there, meeting with the Tesla team. Might it be to plan out the new Model Y refresh, or maybe even something more exciting like the compact car? Today, we're going to have video of Franz being interviewed by Shanghai Daily. He talks about Tesla's approach to driving innovation through design and also about the Cybertruck. We're also going to play some clips of him being interviewed by Ride the Lightning, and he talks about what he thinks is going to be his legacy and what design he's most excited for. We've got Hans Nelson joining us. He has his own YouTube channel called Hans C. Nelson. Welcome, Hans.
Thanks for having me, Herbert.
So this is news that just came out, of course. Shanghai Daily had an exclusive interview with chief designer Franz von Holzhausen, and we're going to listen to that. I'm going to play this now, and we'll listen to this.
Hey everybody, coming here today to you from the North Bund here in Shanghai at Tesla's beautiful showroom here today. We have a special opportunity because Mr. Franz von Holzhausen has come here from the United States. He's the chief designer here at Tesla, and he's come here to do a presentation for us, and he's going to show us about some of Tesla's previous designs, some of their new designs, and their future and plans here in China and the Chinese market. Let's check it out.
We need more EVs in the space. You know, our mission at Tesla is to really rid the addiction to fossil fuel. And so we know we can't do it alone. Competition drives us to be better as well. I think we started with the philosophy that, you know, when I look around, I see a lot of copycat. I see a lot of, like, maybe in a flattering way, we're doing something right.
Yeah.
If people are copying us. And it's not to say that they're blatantly copying, but I think there's something that people are gravitating towards and they want to have their own voice. Cars, you know, trucks right now are kind of boring. They're all the same. Yeah. So how can we kind of bring the future forward a little bit and, you know, create something really futuristic? And having somebody bold like Elon is really the kind of power behind being able to do that. We're not stuck in a mold.
Right.
And we can change and we can do unexpected things and make them actually better and a more pleasant experience. And automotive design needs a few of these things to kind of move the needle forward and get us thinking about sometimes a radical change helps unlock normalcy.
Yeah.
And again, being a change agent, you can use the power of design to help kind of get people to change and think a little bit differently. And we just want to bring a clean, beautiful aesthetic to the market. I think people aren't really thinking about how powerful autonomy can be in our near future. And the idea of not having to like drive anymore and take that burden off of you and you get your time back. Like the most precious thing we have in our lives is time. You still get it back, right? At the end, it's gone, right? We're maybe stuck in like the consumers may be stuck in the mindset of I'll always be driving, but that's not the case. And so how do we start developing a product that can ease you into this scenario where ultimately autonomy will be doing the driving for you, which becomes your DD in a way, right? And you get your time back because you can do something else. So what's that environment? So we're creating that environment.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Enjoy your time in China.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Wow. Okay. So not only do we have this, which is a very recent clip of Franz talking about autonomy, and when autonomy is here, he's been designing this, but we're going to show clips of him talking about this in 2019 and also just last year. And so this is something that Tesla's serious about. Autonomy's coming. He's been working on it and he's very, very excited about it. Your thoughts on all this, Hans?
Yeah, I think that one of the cool things is Franz really has defined what the design of EVs really is and what it should look like. Obviously, his ability to work with Tesla and to work with Elon is something that makes that possible. That, you know, if he was doing this work at another company, he wouldn't have the freedom that Elon gives him to come up with the designs that he has been able to come up with. But he also wouldn't be working at the very forefront of the technology. And so he would be in more of a following position instead of a leading position. And so, I mean, he's alluding to this and he's relatively humble about the fact that his work is really something that when other people are copying or following him, that he is in the position of actually creating those new experiences, creating those new design concepts that really drive the future of this industry forward. and that's why other people end up having to copy him, is because he's really the tip of the spear there. And then I love his comment there towards the very end about the fact that the face of transportation as we know it is really going to transform radically in the future. And so right now he's actually transitioning from not only just being a vehicle designer and doing something fresh and innovative and cool and something that can redefine the industry with a product like the Cybertruck, for example. But it's still a truck. Like, he's not creating a radically new product. He's just doing something fresh and innovative on an existing platform. And that as robo taxis or autonomous driving become more and more and more a reality, that really opens up a whole new landscape of design, both possibility and responsibility. And once again, Franz is going to be in that tip of the spear position to do a lot of the work that is going to define the way that transportation feels for us as people in the 2030s, the 2040s, the 2050s. And so it's really cool to kind of get some insight into how he's thinking about that.
Wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play a couple clips here, one from 2019 and then one from 2023, him talking about robotaxi. And then you had a comment, you talked in a previous conversation you and I had about, Franz and his designing for autonomy as a platform. So I want to ask you about that. So let me go ahead and play these clips.
What kind of car would you like to design at Tesla that the company hasn't made yet? Is there something, a product category or something that you'd like to do, even if it'll never get made, just something you personally would like to do?
I think there's a few. I think the one that's, really intriguing to me, and I think it's, probably to anybody in the automotive or transportation space, is like, how is autonomy gonna shape the future of transportation? Like, what is that product when full autonomy is really viable and working really well? What are the products looking like then? And to me, that's incredibly intriguing. And we have ideas around that. We've been, working on ideas. But that's, to me, there's a fascination around that. So I think it's going to be a pretty rapidly changing world in terms of what transportation looks like in the near future.
Brilliant. Franz von Holzhausen.
What's really cool was that interview by Ryan from Ride the Lightning was done in 2019. That's like 5 years ago. Okay, so 5 years ago, he was thinking about this, planning for it, and really a lot of time. Now listen to this re-interview again by Ryan, Ride the Lightning, but just last year.
You're still a young man. You've been at Tesla for a while. You've been in the industry for a while, but there you got plenty of daylight ahead of you. But what do you hope your legacy is someday when you're looked back on?
Good question. I never actually took the time to think about it. I think the things that we're working on currently and the ideas into the future. I think autonomy is going to radically reshape the way that we move ourselves around and that transportation in general. And I think being kind of on the tip of that change is super exciting to me. And maybe what we do at Tesla becomes kind of a gold standard for what the future of transportation is like. I think that would be pretty awesome, and I think we're poised to be able to do that. So I think that keeps me excited, and it's like, and it's somewhat of an unknown. Nobody's really gotten there yet and had a recipe or figured out how people really want to, be chauffeured around in their own kind of private space. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there, and I look forward to being part of that process.
All right, I lied. I guess
Wow. Okay, so that's what he wants his legacy to be. Okay, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I love the way that he articulates that there. And then the other piece of information that we can pull into this from the Walter Isaacson biography is that the next generation vehicle platform is something that Elon had been pushing to actually be designed without even having a steering wheel in the first place. And so we know that a lot of the design work, even here over the past couple years that Franz has been doing has been really focused on a vehicle that is not driven in any way by a person, that the person is in no way, shape, or form in control of the vehicle. And so it really is a much more passive space where the person is just being either chauffeured. That was one of the words that he used. And so it's going to be an interesting design challenge where you're fusing together modern technology, but then you're also kind of bringing back in some of the design elements or the functional challenges that have been implemented in the past in other forms of transportation, like trains or stagecoaches, these types of things. And so that's going to be something that he's right there in the middle of, in the thick of. And as he said there in the interview, this is the thing that he's most excited about. It's the position that he understands that he is in and that Tesla is in. Really, that he understands that Tesla is in the position to do this and that this is his responsibility for his part of what that's going to look like moving forward. And it's the thing, it's the design that he has been most excited about now for a long time and is in the thick of it. The other thing that we know from the Walter Isaacson biography is that they are going to launch with versions that do have steering wheels to begin with, but they are really thinking about that transition. So there's going to be lots of next generation platform vehicles that do have steering wheels, but they're figuring out how do we create vehicle platforms where that is the case and is not the case. And that's what the next really 10 years is probably going to look like for us. And I mean, we know that the Cybertruck, all of the design work that happened for that was, a number of years ago now. I think back in 2016, 2017, 2018 was done, back in the 2016, 2017, 2018 kind of time frame. And so we know that the work that he's been doing now is probably something that we won't really get to see the full fruits of for a few more years still. But it's something that is going to have a dramatic impact on the way that all of us experience transportation.
Yeah, I met with Franz I was able to have a chance to talk to him when I was at the Cyber Rodeo party, I guess a year and a half ago, maybe, at Giga, Texas. And he was dancing and I was talking to him and I asked him the question, do you consider the Cybertruck to be your greatest design, the one you're most proud of? And at that time he said, actually, no, it's the one that I'm working on now. And so the assumption is it's going to be the robotaxi. So anyways, I mean, I don't want to read too much into this, but we just watched a bunch of clips together. He talked about autonomy. He was talking about it since 2019. This might be something that might come sooner than we realize because they've been designing this. They've given a lot of thought for many, many years now, like you were saying. So, this is going to be exciting.
And let's not forget that,
Yeah.
We saw the first customer deliveries of V12, and we don't know what the upper bound is on how good V12 can get. There's an outside chance, I would say maybe 10 to 20% chance that V12 puts us right at the doorstep of robo-taxis. It's also highly possible that it doesn't get us quite there and that we do need a V13, but we definitely see the architecture that they're working with just continue to get better and better and better. And that constant progress means that we'll definitely be getting much closer to this over the next few years.
Yeah, full self-driving version 12 looks like that it wasn't a mistake to do. It wasn't a major regression. It's actually showing signs that it's not only going to improve the already, it's going to learn faster. So we're crossing our fingers that
and already solving lots of problems that other versions never were able to solve. Yeah,
on its own. On its own. That's like mind-blowing. Okay, thank you so much, Hans. Appreciate you. Follow him on his YouTube channel, Hans C. Nelson. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com.